Hello and welcome. I am joined on screen today by the avatars of three terrifying 100-meter tall titans, which of course can only mean I am going to have a go at Harry Gross's case from the Excel World Championships, Clash on Titan. I have since learned that there is a very popular anime series, Attack on Titan, which perhaps inspired this. And in that, there is a character called Captain Levi, who is the only one that the huge 100-meter tall terrifying titans are scared of. And you got to figure in this analogy, considering the terror that Harry's byline as a case author inspires, that he must be the Captain Levi of the esports world. Anyway, I'm going to have a go at this case today. I'm going to hide the answers. I don't want that. The setup is very simple. You've got four uh, terrifying esports players who've been injected with crazy poison that turns them into 100-meter tall evil titans. You've lined up a squad of elite Excel users to outmaneuver them and inject a serum into an antidote to save them. The Titans all have unique abilities that makes it harder to defeat them. For now, I'm going to skip over the bonuses and the first three levels because those are fairly standalone, and other people have done good solutions of them. If I can keep my main solution not too long, then I'll have a go at those as well. But what I mostly want to focus on is levels 4, 5, 6, and 7, which is where the sort of main battling happens. The rest are sort of warm-ups for that, because I want to do a solution that's pretty different from what other people have shared. But some of the setup is the same. So let's start with some setup. First, I'm going to steal Hayden. I think it's Hayden or Ben or both had the idea of just adding the Titans to the end of the squad list just for easy setup, and also I'm going to remove search for space star, meaning space followed by anything, and replace with blank to get rid of the second names because the Titans are only referred to by first name. And then I'm going to make this a table. Well, I should start my timer really. Now I'm going to make this a table. And I'm just going to call that T, as I often do. And I'm going to build some quick helper functions. I'm going to use robot to help me with this. So first, I'm going to mark these as input cells, and then I want to be able to do XLOOKUP. I'm going to work in columns, so I'm going to say first to call this input in tname. Why is it not auto-completing tname? Maybe I didn't name it T properly. Or did I do that thing again where I named the range T instead? No, I did name it T. Why isn't it working then? Ah! XLOOKUP to call of all this stuff in T name. There we go. Oh, it's because it's not called name, it's called squad member. Okay, returning from T health. I'm going to use generate lambda statement to save that as lambda. And I'm going to call that, I don't need this or this to be steps, so I'll say exclude, and then I just get the main thing, say OK, and save lambda. I'm going to call that get HP. OK, and then we'll do the same thing, edit lambda, change health to attack, and save lambda as, and I'm going to call this one get attack, get at. Okay, so that's the setup we need there. Then I'm going to build this all in a separate model until we get to a lambda. The aim here is to sort of build a lambda that will give us how to deal with one Titan. So the first level, we're interested in just fighting Michael, and we've just got a squad of 15, but we're going to build something that'll be pretty flexible about squad size. So Titan is just going to be Michael. There's a couple of things that we need to think about as we get into later. So later, after the first Titan is defeated, a second and then subsequently a third and fourth Titan appears. So if, let's say, Michael fights the first 6, well, he kills the first 6 members, we'll talk about his special ability in a minute, but let's say he fights the next 5 squad members, then the next Titan will appear starting here. So we're going to need to know how many are skipped. So for now, it'll be 0 to try to match the example here, but then we'll also test with a certain number of Titans being skipped. The other thing we need to think about, I guess now is the time to talk about special abilities. So let's pull these names back up here just to make this easier to reference. So Michael's special ability in memory of Dicey Battle is Dice of Death. He kills the first 6 squad members in the order they're initially presented in the case. When I appear, the attack of all squad members is permanently halved, and when Andrew appears, everyone's health is halved, in both cases rounding up. And Willem, it just says the Willem Titan has a very high attack stat. It's actually relevant to know that he has an attack stat that is higher than anybody's health, so he one-hit kills anybody. So the other thing that we need to know, in addition to what Titan is there now, is has Diarmuid previously appeared? Because if he has, then attack should be halved. So I'm just going to call this Prev Dim, previous Dim appearances, which for right now is 0. And then I need the squad attack and squad HP. And that will be get attack of, we'll start with this crew, and get HP, again, starting with this crew. Okay, so now what do we need to build? Well, first thing, we're going to have an attack to use, and that is going to be round this divided by 1 plus this to 0 decimal places. So in other words, if Dim has appeared, everyone's attack is halved, but rounding up, so 7 becomes 4, 5 becomes 3. If Dim has not appeared, then attack stays the same. So now we need to think about the HP to use, which means we need to apply Michael's effect, which kills the first 6, and we need to apply Andrew's effect, which halves HP. So the first thing I'm going to do is just a sequence. We'll do sequence of rows of any of these inputs, and then I'm going to do the MJ, who gets killed by Michael. So first I'm going to say I want the first 6 that are not 0. So just to make it a little easier to see what's going on, let's imagine that some people have been killed in an earlier battle. So we'll just say sequence 15, starting at 1, steps of 0, and then F9 that. And then let's just say we 0 out here and here and here. Now we've got some zeros. So the first 6 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's what we have to watch out for. So the first thing we're going to do is small. We're going to say if HP is greater than 0, then give me the sequence, otherwise give me 1000. And the reason I'm doing the give me 1000 rather than give me, double quotes or something like that that small will ignore is because if there are 6 or fewer people left alive, I do want Michael to kill everyone. So small of that 6. So Michael will kill everyone up to that sequence number. So now we're going to say sequence hash is less than or equal to that. These are the people that Michael will kill. I'm just going to wrap it in N because I find that a little easier to read. So then HP to use will be, we're going to say switch left of the Titan name. So if it's M, then it's going to be starting HP times 1 minus this. So in other words, the ones that survive Michael. If it's Andrew, then we want to round starting HP over 2 to 0 decimal places. And otherwise, we just want to take the starting HP. So that is our HP to use. And now you can see that Michael has killed 6. There were 3 already dead. So now there are 9 dead, and you're left with 6 more. Now I'm going to get rid of this because otherwise I won't match the examples. Okay, so now let's get our Titan attack. That can just be get attack of Titan. And then what I want to think about next is when is each person killed? And that's going to be a function of their HP, the Titan attack, and also the skip, which I'll come back to in a second. So say killed. So first it's just going to be, this is your HP, this is the damage the Titan does, so this is how many times he needs to hit you to kill you. But we only operate in full rounds, so we round up to 0 decimal places. So in other words, Michael's attack is 12. So here's someone whose HP is 28. It's going to take 3 hits to kill them. These two have 20 and 21. So I'm going to take 2 hits to kill them. 35 will take 3 hits, and so on down. But the way I want to think about this is I want to think of it as full cycles through the whole team. So like this is going to be, we've got my sequence here, so it's going to be like rounds 1 to 15 will go through the whole team once, and then 16 to 30 will go through the whole team again, and then 31 to 45 will go through the whole team again. So if some people are being skipped at the start, then this should increase the round number on which they will be killed because they don't take part in round one. So let's just say, for instance, that we're skipping 12 people. Then these 6 are just dead anyway, but all of these 6 would survive into one column further. So we're going to say that plus sequence is less than or equal to skip. And this makes it a little confusing for the ones who are already dead, but you don't really need to worry about that. You might kill them a little extra, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so then what I next want to know is on what round is everybody killed? Because that's how many rounds the whole thing needs to last. And so then I'm going to think about a sequence of moves. For this, I want a sequence with same number of rows as the squad size and with this number of columns. But that number's in the wrong order. This does 1, 2, 3, 4 across. What I want is for it to count down. And unfortunately, the sequence doesn't have a pivot argument or a kind of change orientation, but we can just wrap it in transpose. So I have to swap the two arguments, which will give me then 1 to 15 and then 16 to 30 in rows, and then wrap it in transpose. Not in translate, but in transpose. Okay, so now you can think of it as, okay, here's move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, up to 15. This is round 1, this is round 2, this is round 3, this is round 4 for each player. And so we can say, okay, well, this player is going to get killed in round 4, this player is going to get killed in round 3, this player is going to get killed in round 2, and so on. So based on that, we can now figure out the Titan damage. And sorry, I'm just going to set the skip back to 0 because, again, I want to try and match the example. So when does the Titan do damage? The Titan does damage if first the move has to be greater than the skip number. And that's, in this case, true for every move because we're not skipping anyone this turn. And we're just going to multiply together for and we're going to do a sequence, comma, all kill. So this is going to give me a 1, 2, 3 across the columns, and that has to be less than, less than or equal to the turn on which the player gets killed. So here, none of these are involved in any of the rounds. Then this player is involved in 3 rounds, this player is involved in 2 rounds, 2 rounds, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, 3 rounds. So this is like if the Titan was never killed, this is how much damage the whole team could do. This person could attack 3, so all of these 6 would just be instantly killed by Michael's special ability. This person could attack up to 3 times before they would be killed. This person could attack twice, and so on. So then we can multiply that by the squad's attack. And so this is the total of this, 122, is the most damage that they could possibly do to the Titan, which luckily is enough because Michael Titan only has 108 HP. So now we want to figure out when is the Titan killed. And to do that, first we can to-call this. And this is going to, to-call by column. And then this is going to give us kind of reading through it in the round order. And then we can scan that to sum up the cumulative damage to the Titan. Scan that, sum. So we can say, by this round, 4 damage is done, then we add another 5 to get 9 damage, 16, 26, and so on. And then you'll see that the damage freezes here because we're going through rounds with 6 players, the same first 6 players who are already dead, so no harm gets done. And so here, then, we want to X-match. We're going to get HP of the Titan, who is over here. We're going to X-match that against this. Exact match or next larger item. So the number of rounds until you kill them. And that's that. And so now we want to figure out the squad damage, which now that we have this is relatively easy to do. So basically, the squad gets damaged if they're not skipped and if it's a round before the Titan gets killed. So up to 40. And important to know, the squad moves first. So on turn 41, the Titan gets killed, the Titan will therefore not attack back. So it's less than 41. So it's just going to be move has to be less than this, and move has to be that's m2 hash. Move has to be greater than the number of people that get skipped. And then you could also, if you want to be more precise, multiply that by something to factor out, are you before the round that you get killed? But you're only going to end up overkilling someone anyway, and as long as we cap the HP going down to 0, we're okay. So this is, on this round, is the Titan alive and in play to attack the player? So then we can multiply that by the Titan's attack, and then we can by row sum that. And then we just need the squad's ending HP, and that is if the damage is greater than the HP to use, which is over here, then 0, otherwise HP to use minus the damage. And there it is. And then the exam question in this case is how many players are left alive. So you could say sum of n of that greater than 0, and the answer is 3, which I think, yes, does match the example. But now comes the fun part, because now that we have this nice setup, this is the reason I've been setting it up in this exact way is so that I can use my LAMBDIFY. So I've talked about this before. Oops, sorry, I need to import. There we go. Wait, did not get it. Yeah, there it is. So why is it not? Oh, sorry, I just needed to type more letters. Okay, fine. So names are here, formulas are here, and how many of these do I want to be lambda inputs? I want the Titan, the skip, whether there's been a previous dim, the attack, and the HP, so 5. And so what this does is just builds a lambda that says I want 5 inputs with these names, and then I want to take all of these steps. It's just like sort of rolling all this up into a let. So wherever it says d2 hash, it'll replace that with the variable name at. Wherever it says c2, it'll replace that with prevdim, and so on. So the result is this. So we get a lambda with 5 inputs plus the optional input to output the check. And well, let's just hit enter. And that reproduces the final step there. And you can see along the way, it's got a step called sequence, which does rows of attack, a step called MJ, which figures out if the sequence is smaller than the 6th smallest item, and so on down. It just reproduces the exact formula logic that we've used along the way. And then it has this optional check argument. Sorry, no, I put that in the wrong place, is why. Check argument goes there. And if you select the check argument, then it reproduces the entire blob. Obviously, these are all just NAs because there's nothing that far down. Killed doesn't seem to be reproducing correctly, although all killed. Oh, sorry, no, there's just zeros at the start because those are all killed first. Sorry. Anyway, so that is the lambda. So now let's go back to robot land and say save lambda. And I'm going to name this lambda one Titan. And now hopefully we can use this lambda to solve the case. So first let's do one Titan. The Titan is Michael. Skip is 0, previous dim is 0. The attack is get attack of this squad, and the HP is get HP of this squad. And that gives me, this is the ending HP of the squad. So then I need to wrap that in sum of n of this greater than 0. And that solves, almost solves that low. Oh yeah, sorry. So there's a subtlety here, which is this formula right here, the Titan killed. If the squad can't do enough damage to kill the Titan before they're all killed, then this is going to throw an error. So I remember hitting this issue before. So I mean, for this purpose, you could just wrap it in if error 0, because it's throwing errors where the squad is all dead. But just to make it not throw errors, we can say if error this, then we can say count of this hash plus 1. In other words, the Titan is killed on one turn after the game ends, which means that all the turns will happen. Okay, so then I need to re-lambdify, and we'll save lambda as, and we'll name that one Titan, and it will say that already exists. We'll say overwrite, yes, and then boom, that works. So now it's a little bit more complicated when there's multiple Titans, not massively more, but a little bit more. So what are we going to need to do? Well, we are going to need to say reduce to apply it multiple times. But the challenging part is that you need to, the skip, you'll need to figure out the new skip later on, as well as the ending HP. So actually I'm going to add one more step here. I'm going to call it output, and I'm going to make that. So basically what we're interested in is the turn the Titan gets killed on. So in this case 41, which is here. You're going to skip up to there the next time, but we're going to take it mod the size of the squad, so it'll actually be skip 11 next time. So the output is going to be vstack mod this by rows of any of the inputs to get the size of the squad and the ending HP. And so that'll say, the next Titan should skip the first 11, and here's the ending HP of the squad. And so then, again, I'm just going to expand this, boom, and boom, paste. Okay, and then we're going to save lambda as one Titan, and that will break the solution to the first level, but we can quickly fix that. So we just need to add a drop at the end to drop the first row of the output. That should fix that, and it does. So now we should be in a position to do it. So we're going to say reduce. So we're going to start with vstack 0 and get HP of the squad. And then the array that we're going to reduce through is going to be the list of Titans. And then we're going to say lambda A and V, and it's going to be one Titan of. So the Titan name is going to be V, so the latest variable from the thing. The skip is going to be at A, in other words, the first row of the accumulated input, the accumulated output. So at each stage, we're going to have the skips and then the remaining HP. Then prevdim is going to be countifs. So we're going to look from that first cell in the range G245 out as far as V, which is the latest. So it treats it as a value, but also treats it as a reference. So that will evaluate to the range G245 to 245 for the first one, and then G245 to H245 for the second one. So countif that is Diarmid is going to be whether there's a prevdim. The attack is going to be get attack of the squad, and the HP is going to be drop A1. And that gives me the skip number and the remaining HP, so we'll drop the skip number, and then we'll figure out how many of these are positive. So sum of n of this greater than 1, greater than 0, sorry. And that seems to be working, hooray. And now if this is working correctly, it should scale very nicely to the remaining levels. So we just need to change the size of these references to the bigger squad size. And again here, now we just need to adjust for bigger Titan size and squad size. So get that out of the way, get that out of the way, expand this, and then this. We'll now go out to CM, so that already worked. And we're done. So you can see once you have a sort of efficient one Titan formula, it's pretty quick to bash through those. So now I got that done in like just over 20 minutes. So I'm going to have a quick go at the remaining levels. So level 1 is how long does it take you to kill Michael without him doing any damage. So that's pretty simple. We will get attack of the squad. Love that Harry is the first warrior up against Michael. And then we're going to scan, starting from get HP of Michael, which I think was 108. And we're going to subtract off the attack that everybody else does, and sum, and that'll give us the cumulative damage done. And then we're going to X match 0 against that, and we want exact match or next smaller item. And that will tell us how many hits it takes to kill the Titan. Okay, level 2 is how many hits does Diarmid Titan take to kill everyone. So pretty similar here. We can say get HP of the squad. We'll divide that by get attack of Diarmid. and that'll tell you how many hits Diarmid it takes to kill everyone, and then you just need to round that up to 0 decimal places and sum it. And that's all good. And then level 3 is a full battle between Willem and everyone else. Willem gets the first move, and the question is how many squad members survive the battle. Now, this one seems like it's getting into the full dynamics of the game, but as I mentioned earlier, it turns out that Willem's 40 attack is enough to kill anyone in one hit, which means that this is effectively just the Michael level again. So let's just take this and bring it down here. So now we're going to look up Willem, and we're going to get attack. We're going to skip the first one because Willem gets the first move and he kills everyone in one go. So Danny is definitely dead. And then we'll go along there. Except this time we're not interested in how many turns does it take Willem to kill them. We're interested in how many survive. So I think we're going to want 49 minus that or 50 minus that. I'm potentially off by 1. Yeah, so 50 minus that. Use the example to calibrate. And that sort of knocks out the first 3 levels pretty quickly. Okay, I started going for the bonuses and then I decided actually the video is long enough and I don't have anything super original to add on these. Ben and Hayden both did nice videos on this level and did nice walkthroughs of these. Hayden's method in particular on these last 2 quite efficient. But there is a different bonus that I wanted to try because Harry mentioned to me in his original version, the last bonus question was how many Michael Titans would it take to defeat the entire squad of 125? And I thought that was a fun one. I'm going to take it a step further. I'm going to see for each of the Titans how many rounds would it take them to beat everyone. So here's my 4 Titans. I'm going to assume it's not going to take more than 15 rounds because they're pretty powerful. So how are we going to do this? We're going to say map of this sequence, lambda x. So for each one, we want to first reduce, starting from the initial value, which will be, again, we need the skip number above the health. So we're going to vstack 0 with the health is this one of the squad, lock. We're going to reduce that, and we're going to do sequence of x, the number that we're mapping. So in other words, I want to, do a squad of 1 of this Titan, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. And then the lambda that we're going to apply, AV, is going to be 1 Titan. The name of the Titan will be this up here. Get rid of sheet name, it always bugs me. Lock. Skip is going to be at A, so again, the first element of what we've carried over. The prevdim is just going to be minus G $356, sorry, not a hash, G $356 equals Diarmid. I'm assuming for this that my ability, the halving attack, only kicks in once, but Andrew's kicks in every time because that's kind of consistent with how it's used elsewhere. I don't know, maybe not. Then the attack is going to be the squad's attack, again, not including those last 4. And then the HP is going to be what we've carried over, except the first row, which is the number to skip. So that concludes the lambda and the reduce, but now having reduced it, I need to convert that into how many are left alive. So first we're going to drop the first row because that is the number to skip, and then we're going to say how many of these are left alive. So we're going to say sum of n of all this is greater than 0. Close, close. Yeah, and that's the lambda, and that's the map. So after 1 round of Diarmid Titan, only 2 people get killed. After 2 rounds, 6 people get killed, and so on. And after 9 Diarmid Titans, everyone is dead. Willem doesn't fare so well. He's got the big damage. He kills everyone in 1 hit, but having the attack means that I survive a lot longer. Michael, looks like it takes 12 Michaels to kill everyone, and 11 Andrews. Aha! So I'm the most destructive Titan, and that's with my ability only kicking in once. If we tweaked this to make it, what do we need to make it so it divides by 1 plus that? Right? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, and and I will note that I won the Titan battle here as well, which isn't quite as good as winning the XL World Championships, but it's pretty decent comfort. Anyway, that's all I got for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.